Indiana Fever is currently the reigning champions of the WNBA Commissioner Cup, and unfortunately, star Caitlyn Clark did not participate in that game, and they still won. Put the beats all over the links, man. That has been a topic of discussion. Now, I'm here to tell you, they have another big-time game coming up, and that is this upcoming Thursday, playing none other than the Las Vegas Aces. And I'm telling you right now, judging by the way it's looking, Caitlyn Clark has already officially been ruled out for tomorrow's match.
The basketball world has just been rocked. Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, dropped a devastating update. Caitlyn Clark's injury is far more serious than originally believed. What started as a minor concern has escalated into a potential long-term setback, sending shockwaves through the WNBA and leaving fans holding their breath for what's next.
Caitlyn Clark has already been ruled out for Thursday night's game against the Las Vegas Aces. Stephanie White offering up some comments that has fans concerned this injury may be more severe than we were led to believe, have fans speculating that she's going to be held out all the way up until All-Star.
What was first diagnosed as a minor groin strain has now spiraled into a much more serious concern, one that's rattling the entire league. This isn't just a case of sitting out a game or two. Caitlyn Clark could be facing an extended absence, possibly sidelined for several weeks and even through the All-Star break. The impact? Massive. The Fever, the fans, and the WNBA are all holding their breath.
Once again, Caitlyn Clark is hurt, and I'm really getting sick of it. I'm sick. I already offered her, what was hurt last time? Her hamstring? I think it was her hamstring. I offered her my hamstring. Of course she can have my groin. Of course she can have my wife's groin, my dog's groin, my kid's groin. I'm sick of it. I'm watching the Commissioner's Cup because I truly love the WNBA, not just for Caitlyn Clark. I love the Lynx. Love them. They're probably actually one of my favorite teams. But I am so sick of not seeing Cece's ass on this court. So I don't know what we got to do. I saw she got her leg covers. I saw she got that. I don't know what they need to do or what she needs to do less of for her to be healthy. But I need to see her on that court. And I need to see her playing well, okay?
Let's unpack this brutal timeline. It started with a quad injury that sidelined Clark for 5 games over a 3-week stretch. Just as she appeared to be regaining full form, disaster struck again. This time, it's a nagging left groin strain that's turned out to be far more persistent than expected. She's now missed 4 straight games, and with no clear return date, the uncertainty is casting a shadow over the Fever's season and the league itself.
Caitlyn Clark ruled out for Thursday with a groin injury. How they were playing this entire time between day-to-day and game-time decision and questionable, I was skeptical. I had to go straight to the source, and sure enough, the Indiana Fever, more than 24 hours advance, let fans know, hey, Caitlyn's not going to be there. Instead of having you drive 5 hours only to realize 2 hours away, she's out. After flying 10 hours, only to realize 5 hours in the air, she's out. After coming all the way from Australia, over 8,000 miles, to watch Caitlyn Clark only to land and hear, she's out.
Coach Stephanie White hasn't minced words. My goal has always been the same. I don't want this to linger or risk a setback by rushing her back. We need her 100% healthy, and her long-term well-being comes first. In other words, they're in full caution mode. There's no firm return date, and behind the scenes, there's growing concern about making the injury worse. The message is clear. Clark's recovery won't be rushed, and the uncertainty is starting to rattle both the Fever and the WNBA at large.
The standard for us.
You see Caitlyn down there. Is there anything new about her status or day-to-day? Is she going to be able to play tomorrow?
No, she's going to be out tomorrow.
Is there any updated timeline in your head of when she could return this weekend, sooner after that?
I don't have anything in my head other than what I'm told. My goal has always been the same. Like, I don't want this to be something that lingers, that we come back too soon. We want to make sure that she is 100% ready to go and that we put her long-term health and wellness.
And here's where things turn downright catastrophic for the WNBA. The numbers are brutal. Since Caitlyn Clark's injury, national TV viewership has nosedived by a jaw-dropping 55%. Let that sink in. Over half the audience vanished the moment she was sidelined. The Fever's own nationally broadcast games have taken a similar hit, cratering by 53%. They averaged 1.81 million viewers with Clark in uniform. Without her, just 847,000. That's not a slump, it's a collapse. This isn't just a star player being missed. It's a clear sign that Caitlyn Clark is the engine driving the league's visibility, momentum, and future.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and end this Caitlyn Clark debate, man, because it is Caitlyn the great one. And you make sure you recognize her as such, man. Listen here, her viewership, ticket sales, merchandise sales, no matter what she played, it's going out the roof. TV ratings going out the roof. I mean, she is making people think twice about women athletes. You know what I'm saying? She is an advocate for women athletes. I mean, it's making people wanting to invest more, man. The Caitlyn Clark effect is real. Did you not see it in Iowa? You know, record-breaking ticket sales, record-breaking jersey sales, breaking records on the floor. I mean, what else do you want from this woman, man? This woman has given y'all her everything.
If you want Caitlyn Clark come soon, so please leave a like and subscribe our channel and type CC come back now in comments. Blow. The WNBA is in full-blown panic mode, and rightfully so. They've spent decades trying to build a sustainable fan base, and then along comes Caitlyn Clark, single-handedly delivering the kind of viewership numbers that executives only dream about. Now she's gone, and the harsh reality is setting in. Without Clark, the league is back to square one. Games that should be drawing massive crowds are echoing with emptiness. The Commissioner's Cup final, which should have been a marquee event, had to proceed without their biggest star. It's like hosting the Super Bowl without the star quarterback.
Nothing about it being a game-time decision these last couple games and being able to rule her out today. Is there any extra kind of concern about just, that little change in?
I don't know if there's extra concern as more of like, hey, let's just maintain perspective. She wants to play, and she's working to play, and she has been working to play. And I think after a few days, it's like, okay, we've got a little bit of time. Thinking 5 games before All-Star break, we've got a little bit of time. So let's just ease her mind, even though she's antsy, and let's do this the right way and make sure that we're ready to go.
Super Bowl without the star quarterback. But here's the million-dollar question that's eating away at the league's foundation. Why should fans continue to support the WNBA when the players themselves seem to despise their biggest star? The All-Star voting results revealed a shocking truth. Clark's own peers ranked her as just the 9th best guard in the league, despite her receiving over 1.2 million fan votes and leading the league in multiple categories. Dick Vitale didn't mince words, calling it absolutely pure jealousy, and pointing out that Clark has been responsible for chartered flights, salary increases, sold-out crowds, and improved TV ratings. Even LeBron James had to step in and support posts criticizing the way Clark has been treated by her fellow players.
We gotta show this lady some respect, because can you imagine being the face of the league, the mental health that comes with that? And she still got that demeanor about herself, like nothing really phases her. Like, come on, man, she human. She gonna make mistakes. She gonna have bad games. But don't you see, no matter what she going through, she get up and go hard in the paint. The Caitlyn Clark effect is real. Ain't no Paige Buckles effect. Ain't no Angel Reese effect. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it don't matter what she play at. She is the face of the league. I mean, this right here is uncomparable. I mean, Caitlyn Clark, the away games, when her away games see more viewership than some of her home games. People coming to see Caitlyn. Ever since she has entered the league, man, the ticket sales, TV ratings has went up.
Caitlyn Clark's groin injury is not an isolated incident, but rather the culmination of sustained physical punishment that the WNBA has neglected to address for months. Her performance has significantly declined since her return from a quad injury on June 14. In her last 3 games, Clark is shooting a dismal 1 for 23 from three-point range, and her field goal percentage has dropped to 27%. Turnovers have surged to nearly 5 per game, These statistics indicate more than just a rough patch. They suggest a player whose physical well-being has been compromised. Her season-low 6 points against Seattle, a game where her turnovers outnumbered her points for the first time in her career, now appears less like a slump and more like a disregarded warning.
Caitlyn Clark does not need to play another game until she's completely 100% healthy. If that means she has to miss multiple weeks, so be it, because you don't want to get into the habit of her rushing back from injuries when she's not fully healthy, and we know if one nagging injury can lead to another nagging injury. So the best thing that the Indiana Fever can do, regardless of what Caitlyn Clark wants to do, you have to protect your star, your superstar, because she's going to want to get on the court. But until she's 100% healthy, she does not need to play another basketball game for the Indiana.
Caitlyn Clark has faced an alarming pattern of targeting this WNBA season, absorbing an unprecedented 17% of all flagrant fouls committed. This isn't coincidental. 80% of these fouls originate from a single team. From Chennedy Carter's blindside hit to the systematic targeting by the Chicago Sky, and the eye poke and shove sequence against Connecticut, Clark has endured physical punishment that would have ended careers in previous eras. Despite this, the players responsible have faced minimal consequences, typically receiving only fines or technical fouls. For instance, Marina Mabrey, who delivered a devastating body check after Clark was poked in the eye, received only a technical that was later upgraded to a flagrant, with no suspension or real repercussions.
Real talk, a lot of y'all reckon she coming for him. At the end of the day, y'all can't stop nothing, bro. Y'all trying to beat her up and bruise her up and take her out the game and injure her, bro. We know what the motive is, dog. Like, don't nobody like that. I don't vouch for that. I don't like that. You hear me? Y'all not leading. Look, y'all need to get that out y'all heart. Cause that's some deep demonic stuff. The way y'all thinking and how y'all moving and having y'all little meetings and all of that and wanna plot against this woman and her teammates that have her back. Y'all better leave her, Sophie Cunningham.
The Caitlyn Clark effect isn't just about basketball. It's about cultural relevance. When she's on the court, the sport transcends its typical boundaries. Fans camp outside arenas for days just to catch a glimpse of her warming up. Ticket prices soar to astronomical heights because people are willing to pay premium prices to witness greatness. She's not just playing basketball, she's creating moments that people will remember forever. But when she's gone, the magic disappears, and fans are left wondering why they should invest their time and money in a league that seems determined to undermine its own golden goose. Even while injured, Clark continues to be the main attraction. Footage of her signing autographs on the sideline draws more attention than some teams' entire games. Fans still hover around her during warm-ups, hoping to catch a moment with their hero. She's literally sitting on the bench, unable to play, and she's still the most compelling figure in the building. That's not just star power, that's a phenomenon that transcends the sport itself. The league has struck gold with Clark, but they're treating her like fool's gold.
Because it is the Caitlyn Clark effect, baby. It is like dominoes, and her game speak for itself. She is breaking records. She broke records at Iowa. What more do y'all want from Caitlyn, the great one? I'm telling y'all, in a couple of years, scoring title, record breaking assists, all that, man. Did you not see the All-Star votes? She had millions of All-Star votes. I mean, she gotta have more lovers than haters at this point. The Caitlyn Clark effect is real, and man, it's making people think twice about women athletes, man, and women's sports in general. No matter who the athlete is, making big investors wanting to invest into women athletes, and that could be good for women athletes. That means pay going up.
Meanwhile, other teams are struggling to justify their existence. Angel Reese's games are drawing crowds that wouldn't fill a high school gymnasium. The contrast is so stark it's almost comical. Clark returns to Iowa and sells out a 15,000-seat arena, with tickets going for $670.00 each. Reese can't fill seats even when they're practically giving tickets away. The brutal reality is that most fans don't care about the other storylines. the other rivalries, or the other stars. They want to see Caitlyn Clark, and when she's not available, they're not interested. The All-Star Game is looming on July 19th, and there's genuine concern about whether Clark will be healthy enough to participate. She's been named a captain and received the most fan votes in league history. But what good is that if she's watching from the sidelines? The entire event has been built around her presence, scheduled in her home city of Indianapolis. Without Clark, the All-Star Game risks being just another exhibition that casual fans will ignore. The league's biggest promotional opportunity could turn into a massive disappointment.
Let's look at the WNBA and Caitlyn Clark. Who is set to make WNBA players more money? Is it Angel Reese, the author of the Me Bound? The Me Bound that she's now going to copyright, and she's trying to get all the rights to it so she can glorify the Me Bound? Basically a made-up stat for someone who can't hit layups? No, it's not Angel Reese. Does Angel Reese help add to the legend that is Caitlyn Clark? For sure. Caitlyn Clark is going to print money for the
WNBA needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves some difficult questions. How did they let their most valuable asset become so vulnerable to injury? Why haven't they done more to protect the player who's single-handedly responsible for the league's recent surge in popularity? The answer is simple. They've been too busy trying to promote parity and equality, instead of recognizing that some players are simply more valuable than others. Clark isn't just another player, she's the player. She's the reason the WNBA is relevant in mainstream sports conversation. The uncomfortable truth is that the WNBA has a Caitlyn Clark problem, but not in the way most people think. The problem isn't that she's too popular or too successful. The problem is that she's exposed how mediocre the rest of the league really is. When you have one player who can single-handedly transform viewership numbers, attendance figures, and cultural relevance, it highlights just how much the league has been struggling without her. Other players can complain about the attention she receives, but they can't replicate the magic she brings to the court.
I don't know if it's ever been a more powerful woman in the sport of basketball than Caitlyn Clark. I ain't saying she the greatest basketball player of all time. Matter of fact, I mean, she only in her second year, so we don't know what she's gonna accomplish. But I'm talking about what is happening right now. I didn't even know that when Caitlyn Clark and the Fever go on the road, that they play in NBA arenas. Yeah, they play in the NBA arenas because she's putting butts in seats, filling out arenas. So she's filling out 30,000 plus everywhere she go. That's powerful. That's moving
The stakes couldn't be higher for the WNBA's future. Every game Clark misses is a missed opportunity to build on the momentum she's created. Every empty arena is a reminder that the league's success is built on incredibly shaky ground. If Clark suffers another injury, or if this current injury lingers longer than expected, the league could find itself back in the dark ages of irrelevance. The window of opportunity that Clark has opened might close just as quickly as it appeared. This injury situation serves as a brutal wake-up call for the WNBA. They need to recognize that Caitlyn Clark isn't just a player. She's the lifeline that's keeping the league afloat in mainstream consciousness. The jealousy and resentment from her peers need to be addressed because it's counterproductive to the league's growth. Clark has elevated everyone's salaries, improved travel conditions, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Instead of celebrating her success, too many players seem determined to tear her down.
It is no secret that Caitlyn Clark has been struggling in her shooting since coming back from injury. She had that big game right after the initial leg injury where they played the Liberty, they beat the Liberty. She had 30-something, Sabrina had 30-something. It was a fantastic game. But since then, she has been really struggling from the field. There's been reports of her maybe having her migraine issues again. There's been reports of her in interviews she's been coughing a lot and kind of sniffling, was she sick? And now she is out for tonight's game because of a groin injury. And even in her post-game interview the other night, she said, it felt good coming out of my hands and then it just wasn't going in. They feel good. They feel like typical Caitlyn Clark shots. She doesn't feel like anything is different, but then they just weren't going in. And then we saw this at the end of the game the other night. It almost looked like it was her leg and ankle again. She gets up. Erica Wheeler comes and helps her. She's doing some stretching. We're like, oh, is it the ankle? What?
The bottom line is this: Caitlyn Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket, and they're dangerously close to losing it. Her injury is worse than anyone initially thought, and the league's response will determine whether they can maintain the momentum she's created or watch it all crumble. The viewership numbers tell the story better than any commentary could. Without Clark, the WNBA is just another niche sport struggling for relevance. With her, it's appointment television. The league better pray she gets healthy soon because their future depends on it. The Caitlyn Clark effect isn't just changing the game, it is the game. And right now, the game is in jeopardy. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.